and welcome to my channel. My name's Nicole and here on Wee Mama I do lots of motherhood, lifestyle, cleaning and organisational videos. So if you like that kind of content, I would love it if you could stick around and maybe consider subscribing. Today's video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be 10 of my pregnancy essentials and must-haves. I have been pregnant twice. I am a mummy to a little boy called Didier, who is now 2, and a little girl called Nina, who is 6 months old. I have had 2 pretty easygoing pregnancies. My first one was very textbook. I ended up having a lot of morning sickness, and I ended up having an epidural and a vaginal birth. With my second, it was a little bit different. I was bedbound for probably about 4 months. So I was very, very nauseous. And for my little girl Nina, I actually ended up having her at 35 weeks with a C-section. So 2 different pregnancies, but these 10 items helped me with both rounds of pregnancy. So I'll just get straight into it. Very important is a water bottle. This isn't my usual water bottle. I actually had a really cheap one from Primark and it was the best. It was like a metal one with a straw, which is perfect. As much as I really love this pretty one from Anthropology, it is like a screw lid and it hasn't got a straw, and I would highly recommend, especially when you're in labour, having a water bottle with a straw. Yes, I really enjoy having a water bottle on hand when I'm pregnant. You really need to get your fluids in you and really need to keep hydrated. And the other thing to go along with my water bottle is squash. I'm not really a big squash juice drinker, and I do just like water. But when I'm pregnant, I can't stand the taste of water. It just really acts on my nausea and my morning sickness, and I can't keep it down. It makes me feel 10 times worse. And I just realised that by adding a little bit of squash into my water just actually really helps me keep it down, especially with baby number 2. I noticed this a lot more. I think with my first, with Didier, it was just in the very beginning when I had a bit of morning sickness. I noticed that I couldn't keep the water down, and after a while it was fine and I went back to drinking water. But with Nina in my second pregnancy, I drank squash the whole way through. I could not stomach drinking water. So I had one of those little squeezy squash bottles, and I kept it in my bag, and it was with me by my side at all times. So that's my first essential. Number 2 is a pregnancy pillows. I've had 2 now. I've had a humongous one that just wrapped around the body. I also ordered a triangle one, and that was just as good and didn't take up as much space, because with the full body one, which annoyingly I haven't got to show you because I've already put them in storage because I gave birth 6 months ago. My husband really enjoyed sneaking off and having naps with the larger pillow. So I ended up buying a second one for myself, and the triangle one was really good, really comfy, and I noticed that it was more to just lean on for me. I didn't quite get comfortable when I was raising my bump up off the bed. But yes, it definitely does help your sleeping. Anything to help your sleep, you want to buy it. Next up are salts. I really enjoy salts. I think my mum bought these ones for Christmas, but I have always got a bag of natural bath salts in my cupboard. These are so good when you're pregnant because you are achy, you're uncomfortable, and I found, especially with my first, I had to have a bath. I probably had a bath once a day. I usually pour about half a bag into my bath, and they just feel so good. I've never actually tried these ones before. Like I said, my mum bought these ones. In our home bargains we get a deal on these big bag of salts, and I think it's 2 for £4.50 or £5, and they are muscle relaxing ones, so I usually pick up those ones. And yes, I usually tend to pour in half a bag into my bath, and I just have a good deep soak. I think I didn't get to really do that too much on my second pregnancy because I had a little boy, so I couldn't really always escape off to have a bath. But with my first, obviously I didn't have any of the baby, so I was just a bath monster for the majority of my pregnancy. And the other reason that I really like these bath salts, the muscle ones, is because I suffer with restless leg syndrome, RLS, when I'm pregnant. Get it all the time, it's really quite bad. Every now and then I have quite a few sciatic pains in my back and my bum cheek, but more often than not I do get quite a bit of restless legs, and the only cure, aside from tonic water, was to have a bath with these salts in. And sometimes, especially with my first pregnancy, I'd get up at about 4 o'clock in the morning because I just couldn't sleep. I was so uncomfortable, my leg would be twitching, it was horrible. No amount of stretching or yoga, like pregnancy yoga, helped. And yeah, I remember like running baths at 4 o'clock in the morning, and the only cure would to be have like an hour-long soak with these salts. They are essential. Along with the salts, I've got two other things that come in really handy for my pregnancy, and also like labour and everything, and after labour. Please ignore the state of mind because it's a few years old now. Is a sleep mask. I never really used these things. I'd always have them in like Christmas gifts, and until I was pregnant I never really had a use for them, and now after 2 babies I still can't sleep without an eye mask. I was always struggling to get to sleep. I remember lying in bed once being really uncomfortable, just not settled, not relaxed enough. I remember thinking like how bright it was, and as soon as I put this on I just blacked out and I had a great night's sleep. And these have been fantastic. Yeah, getting out of a hot bath, just to dim all the lights. These have been really helpful. And another thing alongside with these, I also love to use lavender oil. This is just so relaxing. This one is a bit of an expensive one, I think. I had this in a calendar. It's a Suzanne Kaufman De-Stress Lavender Oil. I've got loads of different ones from like TK Maxx, from Home Bargains, and I put them in a diffuser. I sprinkle the oil on my pillow at night, in the bathtub with the salts, and the lavender just instantly settles my mood. As long as I smell this, I feel like I can sleep like a baby for a good couple of hours. So this paired with this, I think that's why it's gone a bit gross, because I think I've actually at one point put the oil onto my mask and it's leaked through. So that's why it's looking a bit grim. Apologies. Bath salts, lavender oil and an eye mask. My top 3 essentials for pregnancy. Also during labour, when you're in hospital, take some of this with you, take an eye mask with you. You need it in your life. Another thing that I don't have to hand right now because I don't need them, but with my second pregnancy, and I really wish that I bought in my first pregnancy, was a sick bag. I had quite a few embarrassing moments with my first, where I was out and about and I had quite a few sick episodes, shall we say. One of them being on my honeymoon in Paris, because yes, I found out on my hen do that I was pregnant with my first. We got married, then we went on my honeymoon and walking the streets of Paris. Obviously it was a great moment for me because I could smell all the food cooking in all these restaurants along the street, and I was like, I'm gonna be sick, I'm gonna be sick. And so I ended up throwing up between 2 cars on the street. Lovely visual for you there. But it gets better. Of course, in Paris, everyone sits outside and eats, and so I had an audience, so that was wonderful. So I learnt my lesson from that, and I bought sick bags during my second pregnancy. Luckily, I didn't actually need them because we were in a pandemic and I wasn't outside, but I had them in my bag, and I wish I'd had them the first time round because it wasn't just in Paris. I had quite a few of episodes like that. Even one in a coffee shop, so I'll spare you the details of that. But yes, a sick bag is very handy, essential to have if you have quite bad morning sickness. Next on my list is maternity clothes. I know this might sound like an obvious one, but I think I bought quite a few maternity tops straight away. I was excited to get into that comfy clothing. I bought a load of leggings, and then I bought maternity clothes, such as like the clipping bras, and the best things were nighties, like breastfeeding nursing nighties. I know you don't need those for pregnancy, more for afterwards if you are breastfeeding, but they're just so comfy. And I am 6 months postpartum, and I've still got my big pregnancy knickers, my big pregnancy leggings, my clippy strappy tops, because they're comfy. I don't want to get rid of them. I need to have a talk to myself soon and just be like, go back to the real world, you know? Another thing on my list is body butters. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with these. I don't actually know if they do work, but I think it is a bit of a placebo effect. I really liked Palmer's cocoa body butter. My friend bought this for me in like a little hamper and it smelled amazing, and that's why I can't find it, because I think I've stashed it from my 2-year-old because he loves cream and he loves spreading it everywhere. With this body butter, and I had quite a few with my first pregnancy, bio oil, things like that, I put them all over my belly, on my stretch marks, on my boobs, on my arms, just put them everywhere. And if I'm completely honest, I don't think there is any magic cream that just makes those things disappear, but it was nice to have as a bit of a placebo effect, keep everything moisturised, and I smelt like a chocolate croissant afterwards, so I'm not complaining. Another essential must-have is pregnancy vitamins. As soon as I found out I was pregnant, first time round, I just ran into Holland & Barrett and bought all the vitamins. I will admit that I don't actually like taking these, they taste horrible. I have always bought the brand Pregnacare. Obviously I don't have them to hand because I don't need them anymore. But first time around with my little boy, I used these huge tablets and I actually found them really hard to swallow. So the second time round, I bought the gummies, thinking that they would be nicer. They weren't. They were quite horrible. They were really like sticky. They clung to my teeth as I was quite nauseous all the time with the second time round. I didn't actually take these as often as I should have. So I think next time, if I do ever have another baby, I will definitely go back to having the large pills, because you can just snap it in half and get it over and done with quite quickly. But yes, these are essential, especially if you're trying to conceive or even breastfeeding. Highly, highly recommend those. And last on my list is one of my favourite pregnancy apps. Of course, with my firstborn as a new mum, I downloaded about 20 different apps, and my favourite that I found was quite consistent, wasn't quite scary, it didn't show you scary images of the baby like an alien, just, you know, it was just quite a nice one. That didn't freak me out that much, and it didn't bombard me with information. It was a really nice one called Ovia, so Ovia Pregnancy, and I think they also have 2 other apps. So I think they have one before, like a trying to conceive app, and also an app for after you've had the baby, so you track your baby's development as they're growing, so that's quite handy. I really like the Ovia app because it had this really cute little hand and foot section, and every week when your baby would grow, it would show the little foot and the hand getting bigger and like, oh, just like getting to size, so that was quite lovely to see. Also show you what size fruit or vegetable your baby was that week, so it was very cute. At first it was cute, you know, when your baby's the size of an avocado and a grape, it's adorable, but when it starts to get into cauliflowers and pumpkins, then I'm like, slow down, please. But yes, this app was very, very helpful. It just had really nice like notifications of bite-sized information telling you what to expect that week, that month, that trimester, things, you know, even from weird things like body hair, body odour, and then to like what your baby was probably doing, like growing hair and eyelashes, things like that. It's definitely my favourite app. The other one I used the second time around, I used the Ovia app for both pregnancies, but after I had the baby I used Glow Baby. This was really handy because it went with my watch, and it was really good for tracking like feeding times, and I really quite enjoyed that. So that was Ovia Pregnancy and Glow Baby app. So guys, they are my top 10 essentials. I hope you liked this video. Please let me know down below if you're expecting your first or second little bundle of joy. I absolutely loved these products. They helped me so much with my pregnancy. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please think about subscribing. It would really help support or grow my little channel. Thank you so much for even being here. Have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!